Okay, so I really want you guys to get excited about this because the contact forms have been the bane of most web owners, bane of their existence. It's like it never works properly, or I didn't have the correct PHP code, or I drove myself insane, or the developer screwed up something and it's not working, or it's bouncing, or crazy things are happening. Okay, so I'm going to share with you how simple it is to do a professionally laid out contact form and a contact page. Now we can do more sophisticated ones, but let's just do a contact page that's going to work and ask the pertinent questions to your clients to get them to basically send the correct information. So let's go back here again. Now, there's no magic simple way to do a contact form. Now, there's a simple way, but it's not just built into the program. So what we'll need to do, and we're going to talk about this in greater detail in another video, we're going to go to plugins. So if I click right here, here's my generic install plugins. Now, if you want to take a note on this, plugins basically help and assist you to do things that WordPress didn't do by default. It was basically developed by an outside developer. Most plugins are free. Some plugins you have to pay for. The plugins we're going to talk about in this video series are pretty much all free. So here's what we're going to do. Excuse me. I'm going to say add new based on these choices. We're going to click right there. And we're going to search for a plugin. Now, I happen to know the name of the plugin that I want to search for, and it's called Contact Form 7. Obviously, I've used this before because it came up, and I search. Now, this is so incredibly simple that it's really, if you think it's this simple, it really is this simple. Now, as you scroll through here, you'll see there's all different types of easy contact forms, and don't be fooled by the name because some easy contact forms are really not that easy. But this particular one is very straightforward and it's very simple, and I'll share with you how it works. Okay, I simply click install. Now, how a plugin works, by the way, is a plugin can be installed. Once it's installed, it doesn't have to be activated. So in this particular case, I'll go into plugins and my favorite plugins in another video, but I just want to share with you how to get a contact form on here. And I'm going to say install now. And it's going to say, are you sure you want to do this? And we're going to say no, because it's too confusing. I don't want to install a plugin. Yes, I do want to install a plugin. So I hit OK. Then it's going to say the plugin is installed. Now, nothing's going to happen if I go back in here to install plugins. Well, here's my installed plugin, okay, but it hasn't been activated. Now, this hasn't been activated, neither is this one. Okay, so I'm going to click right here and activate this plugin. Now, nothing crazy or bad is going to happen. It just now enables you to adjust this plugin, which is called Contact Form 7. It's really as simple as typing in its name. So if I come down here to settings, okay, it's not listed here because Contact Form Settings has its own settings. And if I click right here, boom. So we're going to edit this particular contact form. Now, this is so simple, it's frighteningly simple. It's actually telling you right here, all you have to do is paste this code into your post, page, or text widget. So I'm going to show you how to do a contact form page, and I'll show you how to do a contact form widget as a sidebar. I'll show you both ways. Now, in the scheme of keeping this very simple, okay, we're just going to go with our basic bread and butter, but I'm going to come down here. By default, this is going to go to our default email address. The email address that defaulted when we set up the site. If in fact you don't want to do that, then put in the correct email address you want the form to be submitted to. So if you have a Gmail account, or you don't want to clog up your server, you do want to do a Gmail account or an AOL account, then I would highly suggest you do that. Okay, this is the body over here. This is very straightforward. You basically fill in with a opening square bracket and a left square bracket for the information about your email. Okay, so whatever you want to put here based on these choices up here. We're going to go back to this in a second and I'll explain this. So I'm going to come down here. Now, what I typically like to do is I like to fill this in. This generically says your message was successfully sent. I would probably put something that makes sense. Like, I'm going to copy this. Okay. Thanks for contacting alwaysbeautifulflowers.com. Your biz is important. Important. Your business is important to anyone that cares. Us. ... That's just a thing I like to do here. Okay. Now, if I click back up here in the top, I would save those changes, but we're not done yet. But I'm going to save them anyway. I'm going to save. I have save phobia. I like to make changes, save changes, make changes, save changes, make changes, save changes, make changes, save changes. Why? Because I had too many bad experiences of the computer crashing, spilling a Coke on the keyboard, the cat, jumped over the moon. So I'm save phobia. I always like to save content. Now, here's how this works by default. Right now, I just have my name, email, subject, message, etc., etc., etc. If you want to add more information, you simply do that from right here. You can put in whatever information you want. Just follow the same setup. This is a text field with your name. This is an email with your name. This is a text area with the subject, etc., etc., etc. So exactly how you call this is exactly how it's going to show up. Now, let's say as an example that you want according to this, your name is required, email is required, okay? But you also want text to be required. Subject to be required. So all you have to do is take this information, and again, I want to keep this simple, but it really is this simple. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to take this little asterisk and put that right next to there. So that's going to tell you that those are required fields. How simple is that? Okay. And I now may change it. Again, if you want to put in here how they heard about you, TV, advertising, whatever additional information, you can simply use the same exact formatting. This is P for paragraph. This is one paragraph, closing paragraph, one paragraph, closing paragraph. You can actually just copy and paste this and then just put in there whatever you want to be put in there. Now, the way that your message is going to come out is exactly what you call things up here. So see how this is called your name? So down here, it's simply your name, and then it's inside of your email. So your email is going to be a link, so it's going to say your name, your email, your subject. Now, where's this information coming from? Excuse me, it's coming from right here, inside the brackets, minus the text, minus the email, etc., etc. So this is going to be the formatting of the message that's going to go to the person. This email is sent to you from Always Beautiful Flowers. Now, where do you think it got this information? It got this information from the title. But of course, we can make this whatever you want to make it. Okay, so again, it's really, really this simple. So I come up here and I copy that and I make sure I save, because again, I have save phobia. Now, where did it appear? Let's go to our page. Let's refresh this and let's go to our contact form. Okay, there's no contact form. What did I do wrong? Did WordPress, maybe I have to restart my computer, maybe I have a virus, maybe I need another sip of Diet Coke. Where's my contact form? Because according to that, it said, oh, I see what it says. Oh, copy and paste, just like I read before. Copy and paste into a post, page, or widget errors. I'm going to show you both ways. So, would not make a lot of sense to create a post with a contact form, because then people would have to search and find it. So we're simply going to create a page. And what are we going to call the page? How about simply contact us? Makes sense to me. Now, you can put whatever niceties you want to put here on top. How are you? Thanks for contacting us. We respond right away, yada, yada, yada. You want to put a picture there of the photos of the flower shop and, the happy smiling face. But we're just going to keep it real simple and simply do that. Where do we get that from? We got that from the form. We just copied and pasted. Now, we can have additional forms by using that same settings down here under the plugins. We can have a form for, say you want a form for you're at a trade show. Maybe that contact form is going to be different than a contact form for someone that wants generic basic information. So the nice thing about this is we can have different contact forms throughout our page. So I hit publish, and I come up here. Now if I refresh, there's our contact form. Now by default, this is contact page was set to be 0 by default. So we want it to be 0, 1, 2. I would probably put contact last. So we're going to come up here and we're going to make that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Not paying attention. 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 3. 3, as Monty Python. 1 less than 2, 3. Okay, so if I do add, and I click 4, I guess I want to make that 4. My mistake on that. In fact, I want to put that at the end, so let's make that 5. So if I refresh that, there's my contact, and bingo, bango, boingo, just like that is a form, and this is required, and this is required. Now let's not fill this in, and let's come down here, and let's come up here, and let's hit send. Up, not about email address. About email address would be something at .com or .net. Subject line. Okay, my name, Robert, the WordPress guy. Okay, and I'm going to body here. Let's just put yada yada yada, and I click send. And it says, hey, you got to fill this in. Why? Because we set that to be required. So, excuse me. It always makes sense to have to basically make things that you want them to fill in. It actually says required, required, required. So if a person can't figure that out, perhaps you don't want them as a client. Now here's the cool part. Drum roll, please. Bing. When I click here, it says, thanks for contacting your business important to us. Because how professional is that? That is totally, totally cool. So now if you go check your email, it's going to be there for you. Now, let's take this one step further. Okay, let's just keep this simple. Now I could again go to install plugins. I could go to settings, and I could create myself a new contact form, which with new questions like trade show questions or particular product questions, because you can have many different forms. A form for generic information. So again, use your imagination with this. It's really so you can have contact form 1. I probably would not call it contact form 1. I would probably call it something that makes sense to you, pertinent to your business, like general inquiries, or where's my package, or customer service, or what's up with your site contact form. Okay. Now, what I also want to do is I want to take that same form, which is, if it's not still in my clipboard, I'm just going to copy that one more time, because what I want to do is I want to come over here back to our, let's go back here. Okay. Let's go to pages again. Actually, let's go to pages, and let's say next our shipping. Let's click shipping, and shipping is going to have a sidebar template because that's what we set up before. So to view that, let's just go up here for a second, and we'll go to actually let's go here, and let's select shipping. Now shipping already has a sidebar. Okay. But what we can do is right up here, let's say I want to have a shipping contact form. Now again, I don't want to explain that whole process to you because you just got done doing that. You would just basically create a whole new form that has the type of fields that you want to put in there. Totally up to you. And in fact, it can go to a totally different email address. It can go to the shipping department. It can go to customer service. Each form can be unique unto itself. So here's how we can do this. Okay. What we're going to do is go to widgets, and based on these choices here, we have the search bar here. So let's keep the search bar up on top, but what we want to do is simply take a basic text field. I'm going to put a text field, and I'm going to grab and drag this. You're going to see how simple this is right there. And I'm just going to paste. And let's just put so you make this a no-brainer. So if they can't figure out what this is for, then we got a problem. Automatically add paragraphs if in fact you have text in here that describes to them how to use this form. I save that. I get back up here, and I'm just going to go to my home page, and I'm coming down here, and I want shipping information, and it's not giving me the correct information I'm looking for. Okay, now the type of theme that we have here, this looks kind of funky here. So what we can do is we can go make changes to the forms width and everything. We're not going to do that in this particular video series because, again, I just want to keep this simple. Okay, but you can see, lo and behold, that I have this little contact shipping form on my shipping page. It was that simple to do. So let's review that again. What we've done here is we simply come over here. Let's close that for a second. And we put in a text field. Now that text field, according to this little widget, can be arbitrary text or HTML. Now in subsequent videos, I'm going to share with you how I can put Google AdSense on our WordPress site and start to make some serious bang for the buck. Okay, but this text field enables me to do just that. Okay, so these are different widgets. We'll go into great detail in a subsequent video, but I just wanted to share with you how simple it was to put a contact form over here to the right. Again, part of the reason that's not formatting correctly because we need to make changes to that form itself, which I don't want to go into at this point because it's going to be a little too confusing. Okay, so that's how simple it was to get a contact form either as a sidebar or as part of your menu. In our next video, I'm going to share with you how to do some custom menus. Very simply, straightforward.